So I'm going to go ahead and do a session. It's a late start. It's nearly 2 in the afternoon. I haven't checked with the pendulum if the pendulum is willing to answer, but I'm going to go ahead. There are two topics I want to discuss. Three actually. The first one, really quickly, what I will do is what happened last night off camera. I was told about my neighbors. Okay, so I'm going to let the pendulum talk because I would not want to be held responsible for anything. Let the pendulum move and let the pendulum do the talking. I'll just re-question because I'll do on the pendulum, let the pendulum answer. I have not asked the pendulum anything so far. Okay, so we go ahead and try. Now, what is the time as of now? The time is, today is the 16th of February 2026. It's nearly 2 in the afternoon. The timestamp will be over here. So I have some other topic to discuss. So I'm not going to show my TV for discussion to timestamp it because I don't want to forget this topic. So I've kept it on the topic on TV. I'll come back to it. First, what I'm going to do is I'll check with the pendulum on camera. Okay. Okay, as long as this is visible. I'm not Rohika, I'm JAYA.ADVANI. I've decided to take a break from wearing jeans and t-shirts every day. Before I used to wear only shorts and t-shirts. Now I've been wearing jeans and t-shirts. Now I've decided to wear a few salwar suits, the way I always dress when I go and work in the corporate sector. So I'm wearing the same thing, and I'm not Rohika. Rohika is from a lawyer family. I'm from a business background. I'm a double graduate and a postgraduate. 2 educational degrees, one in Australia, going there and studying, Queensland University of Technology, 1996 to the mid of 1997, my MBA. The second one, 2011 mid, after deferring the program from February or January 2011 to June 2011 and getting back to India end 2012. So I am JAYA.ADVANI, the holder of this pendulum, who did both those educations abroad, a commerce graduate at HR College of Commerce and Economics. I'm 52 years old, will be 53 this year. I grew up at number 4 Jaswell, first floor, 9 New Marine Lines, Bombay 20, all my life, with no bloody lies. I don't want you intercepting and talking nonsense all the time at my home. Rohika comes from a lawyer background. While I did get admission into KC College to do a law post-diploma, something of that sort, I didn't go there. I went away to Suman Towers. That was 2015. Okay? Because I just cannot see myself for 17 years trying to fight something in a court of law where there is a will. It's an open shut case. It takes 17 years to sort. I can't see myself doing that kind of donkey work. So I did get the admission after I got back from University of Waikato, 2013. Then I went, asked for a favor in the Sindhi quota and KC College if I could get admission, and I got the admission. But then I don't know what happened. I went away to Suman Towers, Deep Towers initially, and then Suman Towers, and I never returned for the next few years. Okay, I used to come and go from South Bombay, but I kind of started building my life in and around Suman Towers, Andheri Lokhandwala West, going to Celebration Club, where I was the member. I am, but I have not paid my fees, so I don't know, they could have cancelled it. Okay? Let's hope there is no other identity on my identity, misusing my identity over there. Because I'll have the military on you. और बेनाम है तेरा बाप, हम बेनाम नहीं है, समझे? Anyone over here, darling? Okay, now I need to check, sweetie. As I did last night, I was very shocked. You said you were not happy. Someone said they were not happy. But the point is, unfortunately, I was looking forward to talking to my sister, and there was so much nice stuff that had happened that I thought she'd be very excited. But instead, she told me she's not happy. I gave so much, I got new stuff. Parsha would be very excited. She gets very excited. Even my mom gets very excited. Anita gets very excited whenever I get new stuff. Yesterday, I got lots of new stuff. But I was very surprised in the night. You said you're not happy. The pendulum is slowing down like it slowed down yesterday. You are two people over here. One is Vikas's mother. मिस्टर विकास गुप्ता की माँ यहाँ पे है. माँ समान कोई है? विकास गुप्ता जो हमारा नेबर है, उसके माँ समान कोई यहाँ पे है? It is you who is not happy. Auntie, can I speak to you? Just, you need to do the same thing that you told me yesterday. Yesterday I didn't have the camera recording happening. Now I have the camera recording happening. So can you please repeat what you said yesterday to me? If first I can establish the relationship you have with Vikas Gupta, my neighbor, you cannot establish the relationship, then how can I establish it? You are his relative. You have left the body and gone into the afterlife. Are you happy? You are worried? Yesterday you told me you are not happy. You said you have told me you are not happy. I spoke to you in English. You said you were not happy and I was mighty surprised. Now, Acha, are you his wife, by the way? Are you his wife who has passed on? If I can ask you to control yourself, not to answer them on the electronic digital communication and only to answer me, you will be helping me in some way to identify very, very carefully what you are trying to tell me. So if you can ignore them just for 5 minutes, that will be very helpful, right? Because we cannot give the wrong communication. Now I need to know who you are. Are you his wife? Are you Vikas Gupta's wife? Are you his friend? Are you his relative? Are you his relative? Are you his relative from his father's side? Are you his relative from his mother's side? You are his relative who has passed on. Yesterday you told me you were his mother. Yesterday, last night you told me, after going and asking many questions, you told me you are his mother. Either you are his mother or you are like his mother. Okay, now can I go ahead and ask you the communication? You say his life is in danger? Him and his daughter? His wife that lives with him is his legally wedded wife? She's a fake ID? I will cut it short and I will say, yesterday in the pendulum, did you tell me she's planning something and she's connected with Fern's residency version of Kabir Gupta and his wife Shamlu Sharma connected? They have been calling them out for the ISIS, somebody amongst them. She's connected with their network of fake IDs. She's planning to do something when it comes to even Kailash, the guy who's living on rent with his family. They're planning something for my home also. Are they planning anything for 1804? Jayya Tower 1804. So if I can ask you very clearly, they are planning something that is detrimental to J1801, that is my apartment. The guy is living on rent. Next door there are a family of 4 or 5 people or 6 people with a child involved. They live on rent. That's 1802. 1803 is Vikas Gupta's own apartment, where there's his daughter and him and his wife. And you say, right? So you're saying these 3 apartments, they're planning to do something. Is J1804 involved with J1803 in the planning of doing something on the 18th floor of Jayya Tower? It is only J1803 and the wife of Vikas Gupta who's involved in whatever it is the planning is. Why is she sparing J1804, can I ask you? Is it because she doesn't have replacements for them? Is that the question? Is that the reason? She has found replacements for J1801. Is she planning for all people in J1802? One person for 1802? She has how many replacements, can you tell me? One person replacement? Okay, you have gone to find out. Okay, if anybody else can answer it, 1803, the ones who are on the hit list is Vikas Gupta himself and his daughter. That's the plan. Now you said you wanted me to talk to the military, right? The whole point is you want me to communicate this to the military? Yesterday when I checked with the chits, asking Shirdi Sai Baba whether I should communicate to the military, I got a yes from the handwritten chits. I also got the chapter to, in which somebody is being asked to do something they don't want to, but to be assured that they should go ahead and do something, they put out chits and ask someone to pick the chit, and it is an affirmative that they should go ahead and do the thing that they were not sure whether they should. The chits are actually put forward to Shirdi Sai Baba, asking Shirdi Sai Baba if a particular action has to be taken. That's the chapter in the Sai Sacharitra that I got. Now, is it really true that Purva Palm Beach has been geared out? Is it really true that 10 people have been murdered up to 2025 or in the year 2025 and replaced by the shapeshifters? Is that true? Should I do the chits again to ask you whether we should ask the military or let the military know? Okay. Did you find out about Kailash's setup? Are they planning to get rid of one person in that setup? They're planning to get rid of 2 people in that setup. They're planning to get rid of who? The ladies? Or are they planning to replace the ladies over there? One lady, one man? They have a replacement for how many people? 2 people? One elderly and one young? So let me ask you, for the elderly, is it the man who they want to replace? For the young, is it the woman they want to replace? So the father-in-law, daughter-in-law team is what they want to replace. They're the same bunch who are involved in Ritika's replacement. You're answering me? You're answering the fan? If I do a Scrabble throw, can you answer anything through it? Can you throw light on the situation if I do the Scrabble throw right now on the situation? Can you throw light on the situation? Okay, I will try. Okay, so I'll do the Scrabble throw. Let's see what we get. Shirdi Sai Baba, please give direction for what she's saying on the pendulum. Suddenly she's gone off tangent last night, and I don't know. Harsha doesn't talk that way, so I was pretty surprised at what I got. What she's trying to say, please tell me through the pendulum, through the Scrabble throw. let's just so Bhurloka is not so bad, but it is the lower realms, right? Bhurloka is not so bad. Bhuvar is Om Bhur Bhuvar Swaha. Bhuvar is the earthly realm. तो दफनाने जा रही है, क्या क्या कर रही है, क्या सोच रही है? Okay, this is what we have got. So how many pieces do we have? We've got 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. 2 N's, 2 E's, 1 DG, 1 low, 1 ya, 1 who, and 1 Q. Okay. Now let's just see what exactly this brings up. Her name is Aarti Gupta, if I'm not mistaken. He's not mentioned over here. Connected with Nikhil Advani's fake ID, the EA of Nikhil Advani. So that's all shape shifting. Not sure what this is. Yellow, Nikhil Advani EA, headquarters Dung. So you know what, in their Gaon Kheda, in Haryana, wherever they come from, there are lots of khets. So over there they have their cow sheds and whatever. So they have dung. Hota hai wahan pe. But the point is, you have gone and spread it on my furniture. when are you entering into my apartment and why are you entering into my apartment? My apartment is nobody's, most certainly not Aarti Gupta's. Now, the very fact that you are an EA for my cousin Nikhil Advani, by whom we are not low category, we employ people. I don't know when the real Nikhil Advani hired anybody to be his EA. Since we have grown up in the metro, whether it was Bombay to 3 generations, all convent educated, we don't have the big lands to house cows, and we don't need to do the dung stuff. We are not from the villages. We're very much 3 generation born and brought up in South Bombay. This boy also, when he is born, his apartment paid for 50% by my father, his father's older brother, younger brother. My dad is his dad's older brother by 10 years, 12 years. So he pays 50% of what they buy in Cuff Parade at Sea Lord building. My dad pays the money from his business. So the question of dung, and yes, you have spread it around my home. My question is why? What do you have to do with my cousin brother in case you were doing work of an EA for him? What do you have to do with his cousins who have grown up in South Bombay and have nothing to do with you? Is my question to you. You know where you have, can I show you where you have spread the dung? Let's show it to you. You talk a lot of crap in my home and set off lots of rubbish in my home. You see that thing wiped over there? That's some remnants of the dung. Now, you know, trespassing on somebody's property, breaking into homes, only low-lying scumbags do. Nobody else does that. You don't talk about Gherao, you don't speak about Gherao, because the Indian military will bring the commandos and pick you up and teach you a lesson you will not ever forget. I come from a family, Nikhil Advani and I come from a family where we have at least 2 people who have worked in the Indian army, Indian military if I can say so, at decent positions. So if the army does not know if I am Benam, Benami, then I don't know who knows. The constable will know. The brigadier won't know. A man who has earned a Veer Chakra award will not know. You will know. So you people have cloned yourselves into different families only to grab. You come from what on? Middle East. Syria primarily. Red Korea, some of you. China, some of you. Eurasia, some of you. What even the simple Kerala man at the bottom of the pyramid, absolutely bottom of the pyramid, wanting to make fast money, to get his sister married, to get himself married, to do something expedited over a contract of 2 years or 5 years, when he reaches the Middle East in the 70s and the 80s, he's begging for his passport back because his land, whatever sense it is, the sweet water, the ocean, the vegetation on his own land is enough to sustain him and his family. More prosperous than the quick money he thought he will make when he went to the Middle East. His passport is impounded and taken away from him, and he is forced to work in the contract. But he is willing to give away the money, but he doesn't want to stay over there to build your Dubai. Weren't you impounding the passports of people? Weren't you taking it away forcefully? Hasn't it been covered by the media in the past in India? Now what is the fear The fear is not about what you are doing. It is understandable. If a construction is planned and suddenly the worker says no, he wants to go, it's a big loss even for that who's hiring them. So it's not really that. My question is, how many nurses, how many ward boys, how many people from India went to the Middle East but never returned, came back for the clones? Because while you are not willing to admit that you have been cloning human beings simply because that is your only bloody weapon, no person who does a murder, no person who actually uses the weapon will let you know what the weapon is, because then he's asking you to murder him only and stop his revenue generation. Why will he share it with you? So everything that is unanswerable has an answer, but it is not seen. So what is it? Epstein had a bride hanging from his ceiling. I want to share one thing that came to me suddenly. Dubai and Mumbai. Was Mumbai always known as Mumbai? Or was Mumbai known as Bombay? When Bombay got changed into Mumbai, who all fell out, which brothers fell out with each other and which brother shot each other? Was it in and around the time when Bombay became Mumbai? Did the Thackeray's fall out with each other? Did the Ambanis fall out with each other? And did the Mahajans, one brother kill the other brother? Were they all required for Bombay's prosperity held to Bombay? Was Mr. Rajiv Gandhi killed by something that also died? Whenever they are developing an economy or they're going to develop it, they first change the leadership. It goes into the hands of the miscreant, and every penny earned is considered to be earned by them because they are allowing you to grow. When they put 1 paisa down, they want 1,000 rupees in return for every paisa. To their mind, you are only a worker. And that's how they have functioned much earlier. They started doing this in Europe. I've told you before also. You are only there to do something. Once you are fattened enough, ripened enough as the goat, you are there for slaughter. They need to collect. Wake up to it, because the Indian military with world military, wherever and whoever is not the miscreant needs to save themselves. They are not saving the world population. I am telling you. Open your eyes, because it is the Dubai king who had the New World Order, One World Government meet a few years ago. Amritanandamayi Mata's Amma went over there. But Amma's ashram and Satya Sai Baba's ashram are on the grounds of the Vedic laws. Every time we talk about you doing something that is unrighteous according to our ancient scriptures, the Vedas being the highest, you call it Advait. To prove the case that you are wrong and you are maligning, twisting things, because you have done this from the 2nd century, you have prosecuted your own priests, seers in your European land at the very beginning. You drilled downwards. First the seers, then the priests, then the fathers and the nuns. You bifurcated your core religion into many, many subdivisions. Then you went for the kings, then you went for the army, then you went for the police, then you went down to the CEOs. Johnson & Johnson and Hilton is a small example to be cited. Hilton's, okay, whatever. Johnson & Johnson's daughter, who is the most loved, ends up a drug addict on the streets, thrown out by her father, and he produces a new baby boy after how many years? Finally, she dies out of a drug addiction on the streets. With her are her group of friends from her same background, all of them from, what is Johnson & Johnson? It's a huge company. Obviously, they have a high net worth. How did she end up in that position? You have the Dubai king. 2 girls flee. 1 boy dies in an accident. There is 1 child left. But he is going to crown a new child born much later on. Why? If I understand the way it works, generally the oldest is groomed in such a way, it is natural progression. And when the parent is younger, he will be more gusto about his first child than his last child. How come? What you've done at Nepal, what you've done at Bangladesh. Nepal kings you got rid of, that was the easiest to. Then you went for Sheikh Hasina. 3 people went and met them. After that, she refuses to come out. Then you went for Imran Khan. It is in black and white to my understanding how you have functioned. The EAs, the problem with the EAs, if you can put in EAs, then that is a face look-alike. But if you can put a face look-alike and those go bad or they are from a different country, then you use them for an agenda of breaking up countries that even at the bottom of the pyramid is still more acceptable, prosperous because of the natural resources, and you want to grab land. Replicating people in a place which is more prosperous than where you come from. In Middle East, you tell me, when it comes to Iraq and Iran and it comes to Syria, do you even have the peace of mind? Something so called the peace of mind. तुमको मन का जो शांति है वो भी मिलता है वहाँ पे? तो अगर उतना भी नहीं मिलता है वहाँ पे, और जो बॉटम ऑफ द पिरामिड केरला का है उसको लगता है अब उसको ज़्यादा पैसा कमाना नहीं है, वो काफ़ी प्रॉस्परस है, उसके छोटे सेंट लैंड पे स्वीट वाटर है, ओशन वाटर है, वेजिटेशन भी हो सकता है, उसको एक्स्ट्रा पैसा नहीं चाहिए, उसको घर जाना है, वो भी कहीं ज़्यादा प्रॉस्परस. So it is that kind that doesn't have prosperity, not even the peace of mind that you have brought into this country. And it is okay if they come here as refugees, but it is not okay if you murder and replace them, because that's what the EAs keep doing. You have been grabbing land, OCs, ECs, murdering people galore. That also at the bottom of the pyramid I was shown, the old lady who went to hit Shirdi Sai Baba and their masses, was because she was promised something, she worked for the vote bank, did wrong karma, now has gone to a lower realm which she is not happy about. And she is one amongst many, is what was shown to me. Now, the thing is, she is called, if I'm not mistaken, since the topic is them and it is their relative who's pretty unhappy. Let me ask the pendulum if this is appropriate what we've got, or they want to say something else. Okay, first let's just see that. Yes, they, it's pretty sad because he's a father of a daughter who's pretty old. They keep talking a lot of shit in my home, which I don't think I appreciate, and I don't think even the man will appreciate. No, and least of all his daughter. Right? But my saying is, whatever you talk about is inconsequential. It is a diversion so that you can go ahead and do the damage you wish to do. You have always digressed with topics that are of no use. You could have caught Epstein ages ago before the damage happened. Today you were talking about Epstein, but Epstein is over, the damage also is done. Point is, you're keeping the crowds very, very busy with scandalizing topics. Whereas where they should actually keep their brains and actually stop you from something, they're not doing that. That is how you have gotten away from the 2nd century to the 21st century. I'm hoping that this time they don't get fooled and they actually ignore everything you tell them and look for what it is they need to look for to put you out of business of whatever you have been doing non-stop for this entire time. Last 20 centuries. You have shown me a dream today of Vivek Kumar also in the morning. That boy I don't think is alive because he was taken to Kalyan much earlier. And he was supposed to go for 2 days. He returned after a week and then soon after left the job at my home. Point is, he said he had passed his railway exam and he was very happy, or something of that, something to do with something about passing exams and being very happy. But the point is, in my case, after I did my QUT, you stole my passport to grab identity. My cousin sister called Alisha, much younger than me. She became a doctor, got a place after doing her internship. It is saying you replaced her. Did you do the same thing with Vivek Kumar? The minute he has passed his exams or something he needed to do, did you get rid of him and plug your own shit into his place? Because that's what you have been habitually doing. Wherever you get a chance, especially connected with my home, because you had some stronghold at Forge as well, you have always looked at people coming and going from there, and through me, you have looked at anything I connect with, you always cause damage to them. This is my observation. This is my observation. Mrs. Madhav E. Reddy came here to work. I'm told you got rid of her, replaced her with 10 shapeshifters, 2022 onwards, sometime in the middle. There is a clear-cut difference in her personality from the time she joined 2020 end to 2000, did she join 2000? Yeah, 2020 end to 2022 February, January, whenever I went to Bombay. There is a marked difference in her behavioral patterns, her style, prior to and post a particular timeline. So I am saying with all authority, I am the evidence for every changing that you have done on the back of murdering people, making them wear egos of other people. And no, since that is your only fucking weapon, you're not going to tell the truth. That also is a rider already established. The guy who came outside my door when the fake ID of Madhav E was leaving the job from my home, the 3 boys and the guy who was heading it, who opened the IP, the internet communication center outside my main door, and she went out to keep the garbage. They knew each other, all 4 of them. He walked onto this floor, on the 18th floor, as Akhil Gupta, who had been murdered much earlier, according to my reading, and stood there like Kiran Merchant, who had been murdered also much earlier, but looks nothing like either of the two. How did that happen? Can you tell me? It is something like this. I wanted to do this as a separate topic, but since we're talking about this, this is the famed guru called Sadguru, Jaggi Vasudev. But one look at him and I said, he's looking like Kira, and somebody from the digital network, which you cannot hear, only I can hear it or the pendulum can hear it, also use the word Kira. Leathery skin. Now, Mr. Jaggi Vasudev, Varsha said she met him in the afterlife. This is after that. Place is Coimbatore. You know what happens over here? Americans' first experience at Tirupati Balaji. And he's looking where? He's looking at Jaggi Vasudev, who has a very ardent devotee, doing what the real Kiran merchant in the 70s, 80s used to do at Puttaparthi Ashram, but not so bent because Kiran merchant is not so tall. Now, what do you see over here? You see an American looking at Sadguru and that boy next to him, very, very devotional, calling it high levels of spirituality at Coimbatore Ashram. Whereas this guy is doing what? Looking at them and saying an American's first experience at Tirupati Balaji. So do you know what he is doing over here? He is recording on the artificial intelligence of whatever it is worth. He is recording that this guy over there is Tirupati Balaji. That is how technology will write it. And you know, it is okay, technology writes it if it is a big joke. But it is a big problem if you people are going to be brain controlled in the future, where you cannot think for yourself. The recordings put to the SATA drive and your brain controlled by it becomes your understanding. You will be going round in circles, following everything that is highly questionable, more because my reading has said that Mr. Jaggi Vasudev, Varsha met with Satya Sai Baba, Shirdi Sai Baba, Akalkot Maharaj, Narsimha Saraswati, Shripad Vallabh, the avatars of Ram, the avatars of Krishna, Vishnu himself, okay, Shivji, but no Narayana and no Dattatreya Bhagwan. This is what she has told me. She says amongst them, she says no, she didn't meet Ramana Maharishi, she did not meet the Dalai Lama, she did not meet Sri Sri Ravi Shankar. Sri Sri Ravi Shankar and the Dalai Lama were told to go down and teach in my deep state sleep dream by Satya Sai Baba, who was taking a class of mine, my mother, my baby sister, who's very fair and cute, with 3 very cute fair boys, very healthy, but on the opposite side of the table, I told you, in the same boardroom. So that time, Sri Sri Ravi Shankar have entered with Dalai Lama. They have spoken, whispering in his ear, but he has audibly said, go down and teach. So they've gone. Now we asked the pendulum, we had forgotten that part. The pendulum says no, she didn't meet Sri Sri Ravi Shankar and Dalai Lama, but she met Jaggi Vasudev. That's what she said. Can I ask you a question? Can I have Varsha-ADVANI? Okay. Since we're on the topic of the Dalai Lama and Sri Sri Ravi Shankar, can I speak with Varsha-ADVANI? Varsha-ADVANI, can you speak, darling? Okay, I'm very happy. Now listen, I want to ask you one thing. Was Amritanandamayi Mata there at the ashram? Not at the ashram, sorry. Again, I've gone off somewhere else. No. Tell me one thing. Was Amritanandamayi Mata, did you meet Amritanandamayi Mata when Dada Dadi went no that night at 10 in the night, 10:30, to tell me Varsha's not here? You returned around 7, 8, 9 in the next following day, right? In the night. You told me you had gone to the realms and you were very happy. You were swinging from here to here. You were very excited, right? I forgot to ask you, did you meet Amritanandamayi Mata, Amma, who we have met in 1989? At Sundarbai Hall was the first introduction to her. Mama forced us to go to the auditorium. You remember? I don't know if you were there, but I had already gone to college. I was on my way to college and she insisted I go with her. So, did you meet Amritanandamayi Mata, who was a fisherwoman's family, in a hut, and from there a very big ashram was opened? It slowly grew in time. So, did you meet that Amritanandamayi Mata? Was she in the human body when you met her? Was she in the human body when you met her? Did you meet Jagi Vasudev also in the spirit world, if I can ask you? Did you meet Satya Sai Baba at the realm? Did you meet Shirdi Sai Baba at the realm? Did you meet Ramakrishna Paramahamsa? Did you meet Sri Padvallabh? Did you meet Narasimha Saraswati? Did you meet Akalkot Maharaj, darling? Did you meet Narayana? Lord Narayana, if I can say. Did you meet Dattatreya Bhagavan? Did you meet Ram's avatar? Lord Rama's avatar? Did you meet Lord Krishna's avatar? He was there. No, was he in spirit? Am I Krishna's avatar? So you met Krishna's avatar in the afterlife with all the sages, seers whose names we have just taken. I used to work in the ministry of Krishna's avatar in the past during the Mahabharata. Those days, the Kurukshetra war. I got worried. I asked you, was I Duryodhan's allies, or was I allied with Duryodhan, the Kauravas? Was I working for them? Yes, you told me no even at that time. I was working. You told me 4 brothers of the Pandavas have reincarnated on earth, except for Yudhishthira. Yudhishthira is still in the afterlife. I asked you if you met him, you said yes. Did you meet Arjuna? Did you meet Bhima? Am I Bhima from a previous lifetime? I was a minister in Krishna's administration by any chance? Are we talking about SM Krishna being Krishna? No, there is Mr. SM Krishna from Mandya. Is that who we are talking about? Is Mr. SM Krishna the Chief Minister of Karnataka and Krishna, Lord Krishna, are they two different souls? So was I working for SM Krishna's ministry here on earth during my birth over here? Because even SM Krishna had a ministry here on earth. So was I working at SM Krishna's ministry here in Bangalore, or from Bombay, or at Delhi? We're talking about 5,500 years before, or 5,300 years before, during Krishna's avatar on earth. In those years, was I working in his ministry or whatever he had, working for him? Was I at Gokul? Was I at Dwarka? Okay, since we have that out of the way, I needed to ask you about Jagi Vasudev. Did you meet Jagi Vasudev with all the seers and the sages that we just mentioned? You met the old Dalai Lamas. You say you did not meet the current Dalai Lama. Did you meet the current Dalai Lama? Did you meet the Dalai Lama who went in for a surgery, who was unwell? Did you meet the Sri Ravi Shankar? Art of Living, Sri Ravi Shankar, did you meet him in the spirit world? Okay. Now I want to ask you one thing. We will close this topic here, going back to that topic of the Scrabble. This Scrabble throw is about Vikas Gupta, right? My neighbor in J1803, which you told me you were not happy and you were more worried about him and his daughter. This is what you have told me. You also told me you were a mother of his and that you were not in the body, right? You also told me that the ones on rent next door, somebody in their home or the whole bunch of them, their lives are in danger. You said my life also is in danger. They're planning to get rid of us, right? Keeping J1804 out of the question. My question is, this throw over here, the Scrabble that I have done, is that telling what you want to tell me? It is not saying what you want to tell me. Is it partly indicating the miscreants? Does AG stand for Akhil Gupta? Does AG stand for Aarti Gupta? Aarti Gupta is the lady who you are calling out. She is the wife of Mr. Vikas Gupta. Is she the legally wedded wife of Mr. Vikas Gupta? She's a fake ID. Mr. Vikas Gupta was ever legally married to an Aarti Gupta? So Mr. Vikas Gupta primarily lost his wife without realizing it. Is that what you're trying to say? His daughter that he has is from his legally wedded wife, exchanged for a fake ID. Am I Aarti Gupta? Have I ever met Vikas Gupta prior to him moving in next door? Vikas Gupta ever shapeshifted for Sanjeev Rajan Lekhraj ever? Vikas Gupta's relative ever shapeshifted for Huri Lekhraj ever? Vikas Gupta's relative shapeshifted for Huri Lekhraj, the ex-mother-in-law? Vikas Gupta himself ever shapeshifted for SRL? I don't want to be derogatory, but they have been talking lots of rubbish on Vikas Gupta's name. Right? And it's pretty sad because it's their private life. So I will not say. Are they trying to mix something onto Vikas Gupta's name to malign him? Every time they keep talking about suck dick, something of that sort, taking names. Are they establishing something which is lies with the purpose of maligning? Or are they fusing two different situations or four different situations to create confusion about a situation? Is that what they're trying to do? The situation of sucking dick has actually happened. Has the situation happened? Has it happened this year? It has happened this year. It happened last year. So it happened, we're in the year 2026, darling. So you're saying it happened in 2026? It happened on the floor of the 18th floor? It happened somewhere else? They're trying to merge 2-3 situations which are completely unrelated to create the confusion. Did it happen at Fern's residency? It happened at Fern's residency, but they want to combine Fern's residency, the dung of some open land, and my home. They want to merge it because they want to grab the ECs, OCs once they get rid of people. Is that why they're doing this? To mess with the evidence by trying to combine 3 homes or 5 homes, murder and then grab and not get caught by the system of the artificial intelligence? Is that what they're trying to do? Okay, I think you better take this very seriously. I don't think this is a joke. हमको तो नहीं लगता है ये joke है. Shirdi Sai Baba, my mind is not on Vikas Gupta. I will think about him and where his mother comes into it, whether she's his real mother or she's a mother figure. I've had lots of happy things that have happened. I have shopped like a crazy woman. I'm wearing my new clothes. What is there to feel sad about? Varsha has been dancing away, swinging from there to here about the seers and the sages she has met. She was very happy. So I was very surprised last night that she says, no, I'm not happy. I said, but I've given you so much. I've also got so much. You've had a good, you've gone to a good place, whatever. You have been so excited about it. Now you are not happy for what suddenly? It was not Varsha who was not happy. It is that who was telling me she's a mother figure. She's a mother of, the boy. And maybe the grandmother figure of the daughter of his. The way you have spoken in my home shows your values. Fern's residency. Time and time again, your identity is going to D'Souza who steals ECs, OCs, etc. He's the only one. He's Sandra D'Souza's cousin. He threw Sandra D'Souza and her brother out from their own home. They say his family murdered her father, and then threw those two out on the streets. Looks like those habits haven't gone. Over and above that, when it comes to Fern's residency, Shamlu Sharma says she knew she wasn't marrying the real Kabir Gupta, who was murdered in 1999. What she didn't sign up for is working at FedEx, saving her salary, buying a plot on the insistence of that version of fake Kabir Gupta, selling it to build Fern's residency, but unceremoniously sent out of her body and her property stolen. That's something she didn't expect, but it happened. So there is something that is foul play. Even before I started this, I said, what? AG is connected to that network of Shamlu Sharma, who's been called the ISIS many times. The video that was taken out of Sharanya Hundalani and Kabir, whoever that Kabir was, his daughter Tara, at Deep Towers, that video looked like an ISIS clip. It didn't look normal because we've all had birthday parties from the day we were born. I've shown you. Never will you see us actually, I don't know, that was kind of different. Those two, that video of those two girls was kind of different. And Varsha is far more particular than my parents. Varsha, Shalina was far more particular about things. Sharanya is her only daughter. Her husband's doing well. She's doing well. She's more particular than even me, my parents. Her in-laws are particular about show. They have done it always. That video of Sharanya's birthday was very different. But that's the time Shamlu was visiting India. I was visiting Bombay. So there is something that is unexplainable, and if it is going to the military, it means you are not from this country. It requires commando handling of you. And you keep talking about us being gheraud and in a siege, and that's a big problem. Shirdi Sai Baba, if I can ask you, Shirdi Sai Baba, if I can ask you, do you want me to mention, show this to the military, whatever it is I'm getting from the communication suddenly from nowhere? You want me to show this to the military of India? He's saying no over here. Yesterday she said yes. Today she's saying no. But someone did speak over here and say something, Jaya keep key or Jaya keep key I don't keep anyone's key. I keep my own key. Yes, I've lost the key to my lock of the bathroom, but I had a spare key of the lock where I forgot to take it off from the lock. People are just entering my home and messing it up and leaving. This is not your property. This is my private property, Fern's residency. I'm provided for the time I am 4 and 5 years old. The real Kabir Gupta, Akhil Gupta, Nitesh Gupta were also provided far more than I ever was. But not one of us would ever want to covet anything of anybody else's. Not ever. Now, dung land, none of us come from there. Because we don't have those acreages. We've lived in tight cities, decent homes, but it's all confined spaces. The question of having big lands and having cow sheds and having dung and whatever is not, we're not from the village, nor farmlands. Right? So it's not appreciated. Kira, who has stood in for Kiran Merchant, all the dance drama that Mr. Kiran Merchant would not ever do. He's a Vaishnav Bhatia, and his place of worship is in Rajasthan. It's called Srinathji from the time I was a baby. Okay? To go back to Vaikunt, you can't even do 1 zillionth of what you people have done, wearing the egos of people you're not even capable of being. Not even by far. Yes, Subhash Gupta and Subhash Gupta's family are God-fearing people. How people from Carmichael Road and Urvashi can turn out to be miscreants, I cannot understand, because that's their history before he's got married to my father's sister. From J.B. Pettit is where she studied, and that's where they have got together and gotten married. So I cannot understand this kind of stuff. Also, Vicks, I don't want to say, you're talking about sucking dick and all, but you're taking it to Fern's residency. Our Fern's residency is 10 minutes far away from here. That is on the ground floor. This is on the 18th floor. Involved in it is AG, but then before that only we said, without taking the name, lekin we got the thing. Akhil Gupta was murdered ages ago. It's not about Akhil Gupta. Wearing Akhil Gupta's identity, messing around with the internet from the communication center between the door between my apartment, which is ownership, and the rented out apartment next door, was a man who walked onto this floor, walking like dead Akhil Gupta, but standing like dead Kiran Merchant, but a face completely third party. What you are doing on my floor? Who sent you? Though the syndicate of your bullshit is very much here on Purva Palm Beach grounds. Those 10 people murdered replaced on Purva Palm Beach has happened up to 2025 or end to end, beginning of 2025 to end of 2025. It has been established that the beast is living in Hennur outside Purva Palm Beach grounds. So all the miscreants are very much in and around here. ये हमको हमेशा चेस क्यों करते हैं हमको पता नहीं है. Now you have grabbed everything from my network. You kept me alive because you need the connection to the Advani family, otherwise you will be called out for something. So you are trying to mix it up. Activities happening at Fern's residency put to my neighbor, combined with my home, via this fucking communication. So when you were fucking intercepting calls, intercepting every bloody fucking communication, recording all false evidence, you're telling me you misguided all intelligence, all law and order to follow all the wrong cues, and you wasted all their energy, all that time, while you had a red carpet to do as much damage somewhere else. That's how these technofarts are so bloody billionaire types. Useless. All fake IDs. Who's the hag? ड्यून का मेरे घर पे है क्या? Where is the dune? Where's the dune? If that's not the Middle East, then what is? I don't know. The dunes must be in more places than just the UAE. I'm pretty sure. I don't know if they're saying why is the Dune English UAE the headquarters, if it's asking about that, or it is actually saying you are. Amritanandamayi Mata, if Amritanandamayi Mata was met by my sister day before yesterday night, whenever I put out the video, who all were met, then who's running the ashram over here? If Joggi Vasudev was over there, then who's over here? Yes, I'm going to do a throw on both people next, maybe tomorrow, to find out what the truth is about them. The Scrabble will throw up whatever it has to throw up for whatever it is on whoever. I hope, actually, I don't know, should I finish it now only in case I'm not there tomorrow? Nina has been called out to be wicked vicious many times. So now Nina Masi's daughter's name is also Aarti. But it is not about Aarti, because I found out that Aarti, Nanthur and Artha are victims in most cases. Then they become villains later on because they don't know where to look. But they are not villains from the very beginning. It is Nina's identity that has been called out to be a villain as early as 1992. 1992 is a very important year for lots of reasons. My dad has 2 large or 3 large every evening after work. He's a whiskey drinker. He does not like scotch. Right? He drinks Aristocrat, then Royal Challenge, then Director Special. That's how he has changed his brands over the year, but never scotch. Because he drinks every day and he has to have 2 to 3 pegs every evening after work. This man over here looks like he can't handle his drinks. Like he is not habituated to drinking. If you look at it very closely. Whereas my dad is very good. He knows how to handle his drinks. He's been drinking, smoking from the time he was 18 years old. Mr. Nanthur is doing exactly what my dad is doing in our American photo on Varsha. But here he is Mr. Arun Nanthur. This lady, when I asked, she's supposed to be a problem. That's Nina. But they say she's not Anu Binu actual sister called Nina, this identity is a problem. That's what I was told. He's the only one that's okay over here. All this is a problem. This is a problem. This is a problem, and this is also a problem. Not this. This is okay. This is the only one okay in this group. But if we look at the eyes of my dad, I say my dad is used to drinking. Here he's about 50 years old. He's born in 1937. So 1937 to 1992. December 1992. How old would he be in 1992 if he's born in 1937? He'd be more than 50 years old. And if he started drinking when he is about 18-20 years old, he's already got 30 years of experience drinking. 3 large or 2 large every evening before his dinner is just acceptable. It's just the way I've been born into it. That's why I said my first sip of beer and whiskey is when I was as young as when I've learned to walk, I'm still learning to talk, but my dad gets called for a phone call, which the office room is far away. So he goes to take his call. I've got the whiskey over there kept out. So I try a sip of it because I see him drinking every day, but I don't get it. So the minute I see it's all alone and he's had to go take his call in the office room, which is far away from our living room in that apartment, I go for it. And when he comes and he sees that I've had, he gets all worked up and says, no, don't ever do that in the future. If you ever want anything, I will give you what you want, but make sure you ask. Don't just touch anything anywhere. And so he gives me little shandy, 1 drop of beer in the Limca or in the Thumbs Up or in whatever it is, whatever is available at that time, but under his supervision and my mom around, right? Just to make me happy. So for a man of that kind who is used to drinking, he cannot be so unable to handle his drinks. With his eyes going red, it's not possible. Okay, we have Yelin's name here. Why do we have Yelin's name over here? I can't understand. Maybe they did the same thing at the headquarters of... Maybe they did the same thing in Germany's Yelin's... so that is Europe. So they've done this in Europe also. You think you're going to become what? A world ruler? Dubai wants to be the world ruler. He's already taken the place of the king. What is the height difference between Modi and Dubai's king? I'm speaking like some version of Nikhil Advani. That means the guy who shapeshifted for Nixie Nickel, his connection is in Dubai playing the king. What is the difference between the king of Dubai's height and Modi's height here in India? Extended to SRK and extended to growing version of Nikhil Advani, because full and final version of Nikhil Advani is quite tall, like the rest of the Advani boys, minimum 5'9" in height, and good looking and fair, most of them. Done the same thing in Holland. I had a man called Mr. Mike Holland, a really nice man, when I first started working for Jones Lang LaSalle. Remember, I showed you those principles in real estate at Singapore, National University of Singapore. So that Mike Holland, where he was the MD, sent to India to start Jones Lang LaSalle, Jones Lang Newton before that. So I was one of the first hirees of his. I joined their real estate consultancy division, and I was told by his junior, but also a very high up, Mr. Matt Shaw, that if you do well, then after 2 years, if you work in this country, in this company, you will be sent to London, to London School of Economics or London Business School or something of that sort. You can become a real estate valuer, and there is some charter that you can do, and something he was talking, which he said he had done, and the company had sent him, and they would do the same for me if I stuck around for 2-3 years, right? Now I didn't understand what he was talking, but I did help out on the valuation. Except for the final calculation, everything else would be done by me. The final calculation used to be done by my supervisor, Rajpal. That's the company where your Zillos, Siobhan Gillies, looks like Shutupa Roy, who was part and parcel of the commercials. There was Joanne, there was Keshav Thapa. Coming to Holland is very important because he's a really nice man. Gabby is his wife. She had just produced a baby at that time. He was invited to Brewery House, and the year is 1998. That version of Ritu Malia is interested in everyone's friends, the whole network, and everybody's bosses. I just hope the man was alive after that. Because at that time, never can you ever imagine the replication, nor can you ever imagine that my own aunt could be a question mark. She's my father's sister. So because his name is coming here, and let me tell you, he's such a nice man, but when I have met him in Bombay later on, somehow he seems a little different in our Nariman Point office. He seems to have a chip on the shoulder. I can't understand why. I'm thinking otherwise he's a really nice man. Then I've had a really bad case of having to extract my teeth. So I could not go in for work. I went and had my teeth extracted at above Akbar Ali's, somewhere over there at the end road, Flora Fountain. And he was a nice doctor, and he said, well, it's your wisdom teeth is coming out. We'll just pull out the teeth, that's the extra one, and it'll be nice and easy. So I said, okay, fine, just get rid of it because the pain is excruciating. And I had to skip work. Now, the next day or the day after that, I'm still in pain, but my mother insists that I go and meet Amritanandamai Mata because she's come to town. So I went with her to meet Amma. I said maybe she'll help this swollen face and the tooth. She'll help make it better. So I went with her, and I called Mike Holland that I'm still sick, I'm not coming to work. Do you know what he told me on the phone? He said, you could go somewhere, but you couldn't come to work. I don't believe that this tooth was a problem. I said, what a rude man. Here I am dying in my home. I've had my tooth extracted, and he's talking like this. I gave my resignation letter over there. I said, I will not work over here. But you know what, today in retrospect, what I believe it could have been? That was an interceptor who knew what the home situation. I didn't have the brains to say, how did he know that I went somewhere? To Amma's ashram or whatever. And not ashram, she had visited Bombay, so she must have come close somewhere. I must have gone with my mother. I didn't even think on the phone how they know that I went somewhere. I was so hurt at what he said because I was in so much pain for my tooth for those 3-4 days or whatever it was, that I said he doesn't believe me. But I have just gone to the dentist and had all that pulled out. But he's talking like this. I said, I will not work here. I gave him the resignation letter. Point is, this is after that, I've explained the sequence of events. So let's hope. He's being called a EA. You keep an eye out on my home. This is not the first time we are getting connection back to you. Either your name, that the Gabby's name comes up. Now that is your name. Down to you're spreading around my home. Either you earn your berth by womb and accept your contract. The same girl who's helping me over here do these reads. She was supposed to come into some animal form on earth. Did she disappear for 3-4 days? Did a bunch of people decide and change their mind that they were too scared to come to earth? Did only Kailash and Kani return in an animal form on earth? Did the rest of them stay back? To get out of the contract they first initially accepted, how many days did it take them to get out of it? Was Varsha given the chance to go to restaurants and to homes nearby because her reason for wanting to come back to earth is she wanted food. Her soul was hungry to eat, to get food. So, if the girl was abducted for 9 years, raped and murdered, was she also left alone towards the end of her life, starved? And it was one cut, she says, that she was murdered with. Is that why her soul was hungry for food? The other one is Rohika Chagla, who hardly moves. She was physically unwell. The third one is Scott McKinsey, Mr. Bezos' wife. She's strong physically, but she's mentally distraught, emotionally distraught. What is the difference in the pendulum in all three cases? So don't keep dung in my home if you don't like what I am talking about. You are the only abuser of your own Atmic journey. Nobody else can do anything to you. It is like a drug addict. You know what a drug addict is? They get so addicted to the same thing, rehab is out of the question, and they'll be willing to do anything, including murder their parents, to get the money to satisfy that need for the drugs. The Atma, if it is not well tended to, and the Atmic journey through many lifetimes, if you don't rein it in, you end up being as bad as the drug addict, and there is no return. You keep falling, not able to set your Atma back on track, and finally you get rusticated from the school of life. You got to go and settle outside of the 14 realms that most normal people go. Lakshmi Mata and the lowest realm of Patal, where the demons and Rakshasas also live. Lakshmi Mata is still over there. But if you get rusticated from the entire school of 14 realms, where do you go? What form of sustenance? What is your Atma form then, and where? Is what I'm trying to bring to you time and again. You don't like what our scriptures say. You have managed to get rid, and you have prosecuted your own priests. You have redone your religions. You have bifurcated it to suit your own end in Europe. Now you've come last to India to do the same thing. How can India be your friend? You are not friends with your own people. But you are abusing your own soul journey, thinking you are very clever. You are not. So it's a wake-up call to you to re-examine what I have just said, to figure out where you are in the scheme of things. And not my scheme of things, the universal scheme of things. Nobody can abuse you. You don't need no human rights and human rights for criminal rights. You don't need that. You abuse your own journey, doing everything maligning everything, breaking everything. You want to be the doer. When you get your contract and come here, you agree to the contract, you are actually groveling for the contract. Just to get out of your shitty shithole realm. Once you come here by free will, you will do what you want. Why you don't get it by the contract before you come here? Playing sounds in my body is not the answer. All right? अब गुनी वापस यहाँ पे आ गया है, gunny bags. They put people into gunny bags and get rid of them. This is what they have done with the real Nikhil Advani, by the way. From Forge Astral itself, I'm ugly, I'm happy, I'm lucky. Yet why are you like a lizard chasing my tail? If I am ugly and I am yucky, but you are being the lizard, you are far uglier than I am, that you have to chase my tail. What is the problem with you? You are though sitting on a throne. Gunny bag is what the delivery people do on the hand cart and in the tempo and the trucks, where loads of things go in your containers, like your containers but local travel. How many bodies have you gotten rid of in that manner? Replicated from that place which refuses to accept that they clone people. Before it used to be cosmetic surgery going under the knife. Now it has gone to technology wearing people's ego and ET at the brain level. Behaving like them, maybe going under the knife, or maybe just CRISPR. And things like CRISPR. How many people have you stolen from? Then how dare you talk about rights and abuse, whereas you are highly abusive to your own Atmic journey, doing everything that is anti-established in the scriptures by that who created the universe. What is your role in it? What's your role in it? I'm not sure what this is. Whole Guni. Or AD is Advani by any chance? New York with your human rights and United Nations. If we come down to this, because this is actually the topic, we show the middle finger every time we're not happy. It's just saying up yours. I have the right to do so because it's my apartment. I don't like people talking shit at my home. Take your finger and shove it up your arse. That's it. The British would tell you in a very polite manner to shove it where the sun don't shine. I don't have time to go out of breath. Okay? If you have a question to ask me, you have a mouth. You got a face, come here and talk. Also, this movement When you entered America, before you put up your Statue of Liberty, you first stamped down on the liberty of the old American Indians. You'll dung my home. Now we have the name Anne again over here. Please don't tell me there's a queen over here. So I told you the Queen and silver bowl is to do with my home, which they stole my whole silver and ran off. So are you telling me this bunch of shapeshifters are the ones who broke my locker, stole my property papers, stole all the silver in my home? Are you saying that AG is connected with that bunch of people who break into homes, grab papers, change identity, shapeshift into homes, and then coerce people to grab property? So this is a military issue in India. This is saying it in black and white. The Queen Anne silver bowl was bought with my consent. I went over there to buy it at Prabhat Jewelers, or Pratap Jewelers, not Prabhat, Pratap Jewelers in Zaveri Bazaar. The minute my mother left the house and went, within a year's time, and we bought lots of silverware. All that was stolen from me. So they primarily want to grab what? Bachi Raju's apartment, my apartment, Fern's residency came with me to register my property. You put 86,000 against my face, but you made a mistake because the stamp duty is full, little less than 5 lakhs, benchmarked against the 2 BHK that I have on the 18th floor. Now you got some touts in the Karnataka government who are fake IDs, Kira primarily, saying you don't need to have stamp duty registration, because this bullshit of artificial intelligence is going to decide whether I am the owner or not. You're that desperate? How can you be actually DK Shivakumara, who comes from a pretty decent background, or then Sitaramaya, who has so much background? He could give me something, he would not want to take from me. They're very rich. SM Krishna also made lots of money before only. He lost his daughter when she was 13-14 years old. तो वो हमसे क्या लेंगे? वो तो देने वाले हैं, लेकिन उनको नुकसान पहुंचाने वाला और हमको नुकसान पहुंचाने वाला अब तू जाएगा लास्ट बिट चिल्लर के लिए भी. तो तुम कहाँ से आते हो जहाँ पे चिल्लर को भी तू छोड़ नहीं सकता है? The guy who went to Dubai when Dubai was being built, wanted begging for his passport back, doesn't want to stay in Dubai or in Bahrain or in Oman or in Saudi, wherever the constructions were happening, wants his passport back, wants to return back to India, back to his wherever he comes from. His passport on purpose and with force is taken away from him till he doesn't finish his contract. Even he will not steal from me because he is abundant enough on his land. But where peace of mind is also a big commodity and very dear, What about those people? Also, the development of your Azerbaijan, Kazakhstan, Uzbekistan started from the 90s, but that's when all the miscreants had started taking like there's no tomorrow. What is the coincidence of the timeline? Birla was affected way before. I'm pretty sure of it. And in every family, it starts with one person being replicated, and then they go for the rest. Finally, it is only one person left. And you know why they leave that person alive? Because they need that person for the association to that family. In my setup, they have screwed everybody over. Maybe now they don't need an association. In Elon Musk's case, it was Tosca and Kimball Musk that were left. Today they played Tosca's voice. For some reason the topic came up. So I say maybe she's most recently been let off, and it is only Kimball Musk who has been left alive. Maybe he is easier to deal with than his sister. Both of them, the originals, were held underground. For how long, I don't know. But the last that I checked. Okay, I want to know, is this about JAYA.ADVANI? Is this about JAYA.ADVANI? Queen Anne is to do with JAYA.ADVANI. Queen Anne is to do with Vikas Gupta. Queen Anne has to do with Kailash's family, the ones living on rent. Queen Anne has to do with Kailash Advani. Queen Anne has to do with AG, Aarti Gupta. Aarti Gupta is the descendant of Queen Anne. Aarti Gupta is connected with that who broke my locker in Bombay when I was in Suman Towers and grabbed all the original property papers. Is that the connect? Vikas Gupta is a partner in crime with her. Did Vikas Gupta know what Aarti Gupta had done? Queen Anne is my mother. Queen Anne is me. I am Queen Anne, the one wearing the salwar kameez. Are you kidding me? I don't believe you. What nonsense, you're making fun. Ugly is Queen Anne? The one with the hair bunched up on the top of the head is Queen Anne. The bow-legged with the widow's peak, 2 different ears, holding the pendulum, hairy fairy, is Queen Anne? Is it the Queen Anne silver bowl that you're talking about? Is that the reference to the Queen Anne? The Queen Anne silver bowl was stolen from my home. The Queen Anne silver bowl was not stolen from my home. It was to change the association. It was taken by that who wanted to wear Queen Anne's ego. 1997 is when the time was. Queen Anne, the real Queen Anne, used to be my mother in a previous lifetime. I also was a minister in Lord Krishna's time at Dwarka. Will you answer them? Don't answer them. Okay? I think I will close this for here. The most important is we have given the message out of who is planning to be gotten rid of. So if they can take some action for themselves, after all they are the men. If they can do something for themselves, okay, I will do whatever little I can do. But I think I will close this for now. Okay.